Hi, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Amy Strickland, and I'm with our tech support and marketing departments here at Elk Products. Today we're going to be talking about our M1 controls, which is a security and automation control platform for both residential and commercial applications. We're going to be going over a lot of information about the product line itself so that you can be familiar with what it's capable of and all the parts and pieces that are involved. We'll go over some more technical information, talking about tips for wiring and hooking up different things and going over that sort of thing. And then we'll conclude with just showing you briefly how our programming software works and how easy that is to use. Presenting for us today is Brad Weeks, who is the manager of our technical support department. Brad's been with Elk for a long time and really knows M1 really well, so you've got a great expert to give you this information. And just be sure that if you have questions as you go along, there is a questions box in your GoToWebinar control panel where you can type those questions in, and we'll get to as many of them as we can throughout the presentation. You will receive a follow-up email with information, including the presentation that you're seeing today, as well as some links to some other information and a recording of the webinar, that sort of thing. So that will be coming to you a few days after the webinar. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Brad, and let's get started.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Amy. We appreciate that. And we also want to thank everyone for joining us today, taking time out of your busy schedule to allow us to present the M1 control. This is our uncompromising security and full automation system, secure, flexible, intelligent control solution for residential and commercial applications. So we're going to get started. We're going to talk about bear with me 1 second. There we go. Okay. All right, so the M1 Security and Automation Control provides the ideal combination for security, access control, energy management, and integrated control solutions for comfort, convenience, and simplicity. We feel like this is a very powerful, flexible, and intelligent system. It's great for residential, business, restaurants, fitness centers, schools, municipal buildings, plus a lot more that you may not even be thinking about as far as the security aspect. It may be more of an environmental or something along those lines. All right, so what makes M1 different? Well, first of all, security. Elk Products has been in the security industry for a very long time. We feel very strongly about security, so we put security first, incorporating high levels of encryption, multi-level authentication, and advanced processors in our controls, our communicators, and our wireless devices. We feel like it's a very flexible system. The M1 can integrate with industry-leading partner manufacturers to provide a true customized control solution for homes and businesses. Installers can integrate M1 with products that they prefer as far as lighting, climate, access, high-end AV systems, as well as some other systems. It's an expandable system. It's scalable to fit a variety of applications. We have a very large security zone capacity for either hardwired and wireless sensors. We've tried to make the programming as easy but still be as powerful as possible using our ElkRP software, which makes programming very simple. We've incorporated a very powerful rule engine for intelligent automation and customization. We give you remote access capabilities, allowing those options to be available without monthly fees, putting installers in control of their recurring monthly revenue and so forth. A couple features that we've done for our installers is we now offer a C1M1 alarm communicator. This is a dual path communicator. It's super fast, secure, and reliable alarm reporting to your central station. It uses both the IP and cellular pathway for superior reliability. What the C1M1 does, it's eliminated dial capture, data bus decoding. There's no cloud servers involved, and this helps to reduce the transmission time. So your central station is getting those signals really fast. We have remote access capabilities to the M1 for programming as well as for the apps, and there's no port forwarding required, and there's no extra fees required when using the C1M1. Our two-way wireless product line has increased immunity to hacking and jamming. We have a true encrypted two-way communication, which ensures secure and reliable transmissions. It automatically scans and hops multiple frequency channels to prevent hacking, which prevents from locking onto a single frequency. And we also have incorporated the underwriter's laboratory listing for detecting and reporting outside jamming attempts using our two-way wireless product line. Now, we'd like for you to maybe perhaps think beyond residential. What are some other areas that the M1 control can offer the strength and flexibility needed in a variety of applications? Now, security is obvious, one of our top priorities, but let's think of some access control, maybe for fitness centers, some environmental control, maybe for a greenhouse or something along those lines. So you can see that we've been able through the years to incorporate M1 into a variety of applications ranging from residential all the way up to commercial and those areas in between. The M1 Gold system has a number of different features. First of all, on board is 16 zones. It's expandable up to a total of 208 zones. And of that 208, 144 of those can be wireless. There are 13 onboard zones. It can be expanded up to 205. I'm sorry, I said zones, I meant outputs. 13 onboard outputs, and it's expandable up to a total of 205 outputs. The M1 has a 500 voice vocabulary built into it, so you can get voice alerts. We have optional two-way listen-in for alarm verification. It has a 512 event history log. It supports up to 199 users, and we can divide the system into 8 areas or partitions. It has 6 arming levels, as well as a built-in astronomical clock. Now, for our installers, we've tried to make the system as easy to purchase as possible, so we offer the M1 Gold system in a kit form. We offer it with our two-way transceiver. We also offer it in 2 variations with different keypads, and then we offer it without the metal enclosure. So if you'd like to add the larger enclosure, you can certainly do that. The kits include the main control, keypad, battery, transformer, RJ set. The kits include a 14-inch enclosure. Like I said, you can opt out and get the kit without the enclosure. What we'd like to show right now is the different keypads available with the M1 system, as well as our arming station. The M1 will support up to 16 keypads on the data bus, and you can mix and match these to meet the decor and so forth. So what we have in the center is our M1 KP. This is the original keypad. And then to the left of that is the KPB, with the B standing for the blue display. Below center here is the KP2. To the right of that is the Navigator. That's a 3.5-inch color touchscreen. And we have our arming station, our M1 KPAS, as well as the KP3 keypad. I'd like to give you a keypad comparison right now. We won't go over each feature, but a couple takeaways from the comparison. With the exception of the arming station, each one of these keypads has a built-in zone input, as well as a programmable voltage output off of the wiring harness for the keypad. Some of our keypads will accept internal or external 26-bit Wiegand prox readers. The 2 bigger keypads, the KP and the KPB, have an internal temperature sensor, which allows you to monitor the ambient temperature around the keypads. And then there's some different mounting options. For the most part, they're surface mount only, with the exception of the KP2, which has an optional back box, which allows you to recess the KP2 keypad. The voice capability of the M1 allows you to give enunciations inside the home when zones open or when the system arms, when it disarms. It also You can program it to speak temperatures and so forth. So it's a convenient on-site voice alert type system. And what we have is an example of two interior speakers. This is the SP12F and the ElkRP2 speaker here on the right-hand side. Externally, there's the external output, which is siren sounds only, or it can be a voltage output off of the board. And it can accept the ElkRP2, which is a 8 ohm 30 watt speaker inside a stainless steel enclosure. And then you can add the optional SL1 strobe to that. Here we have the SL1B, B for blue. We also offer that in a clear, red, and amber color. And those two can be used with the 1RT and the M1 system. All right. I want to talk a little bit more about the C1M1. We're very proud of this product. It's been available now for a couple years, and like I said, it's a full communication over IP or cellular, and it significantly reduces the transmission time for emergency messages to your central station. No dial capture or data bus decoding, which helps to speed up those transmission times. No cloud server involved, so that doesn't slow down the process. The C1M will automatically detect the available path. Primarily it's IP, that's primary, cellular is backup. But if the internet should happen to go down, it will automatically revert over to the cellular pathway and then send the signal to your central station to alert them. By the way, one of my paths is down, but I still was able to send you a signal. That's great peace of mind as far as the installation, knowing that it is a dual path, and it automatically knows which path's available and will alert central station when a path is down. The remote access capabilities with the C1M1, no more port forwarding, no extra charges, no more needing a DNS provider and so forth. And this allows you remote access over IP or cellular. It allows for remote programming of the system using the RP2 software. And there's also a number of apps available that'll support communication through the C1M1. We offer this in two versions, the C1M1 LTEV for the Verizon network and the C1M1 4GSM for the AT&T T-Mobile networks. Now, if you don't need dual path communication, we also offer the M1XEP, our regular Ethernet module. Once again, this connects the M1 to the local area network, so you still have your local and remote access. The apps still connect through a secure connection. You still need to port forward, port 2601, in order for the XEP to communicate remotely. It has email and text notifications built into the XEP, so you can send up to 16 predefined email messages. Internet monitoring and reporting without cloud service, but your central station would need a SureGuard 3 or an Osborne Hoffman receiver. And through the XEP, there is a time server built in, so they can sync with the national time server. You always want to make sure that the M1 is within just a couple seconds of a national time server. Some of the remote control apps and services available. We have ElkLink Mobile. This is a free app. It works through the C1M1 only. Then we have M1 to Go, which is a PC-based software. Once again, it's a free download for this. It works through the XEP only. Keypad is by an integration partner of ours. There is a one-time fee for the app. It'll work through the C1M1 or through the XEP. M1 Touch Pro is an integration partner app of ours. A one-time charge for the app, and then it's compatible C1M1 and XEP. And then finally, we have our cloud-based service called Connect One. This requires a monthly fee and is only compatible through the M1 XEP. The M1 system expansion options. We have data bus hubs, and we'll talk a little more about those here shortly, but this allows the the data bus devices, keypads, input, output expanders, wireless receivers, and so forth, to connect to the M1 in several different wiring configurations. We can use the DBH, which will accept Cat5 home runs, or we have the DBHR for 4-conductor. The DBHR is more for a retrofit type application using existing 4-conductor. We have hardwired expansion modules. We have output expansion modules. We have our access control module, our M1 KAM, and we have wireless expansion through the M1 system. For hardwired expansion, we offer the M1XIN. This is a 16-zone input expander. You can add this locally to the control, or it can be added to the M1's data bus remotely. You can have up to 199 additional zones. You can have up to 12 of these on the data bus. They are addressable using the blue dip switches, so the address of the board will determine the starting zone number. Our ELK two-way wireless advantage, this is enhanced security and reliability. We've incorporated encrypted frequency hopping and jamming detection into our two-way wireless product line, which makes it virtually impossible to lock onto a single frequency. Our frequencies range from 902 to 928 megahertz, and it's constantly changing. Every signal from each sensor is acknowledged by the transceiver and has on-demand status indicator from our key fobs. This helps prevent a client from entering into an unsafe situation. Our indoor motions have a bright white courtesy LED built into them. And we've built in some installer tools as well. A bicolor LED confirms the signal's been received. Our keypad walk test mode allows voice enunciation for the signal strength. And our sound all smokes, now they have built-in sounders so that if one goes off, they all go off. So that now allows you to meet new fire codes without having to use hardwired sensors. In our product line right now for the ELK two-way wireless, we have the ELK M1X RF-TWM. This is our transceiver. The reason we call it a transceiver, not only does it receive signals, but it can send signals as well. You can have up to 4 of these on the M1's data bus, so that will give you a total of 144 wireless zones on the system. So with one receiver, you can do 144. If you need increased coverage area or to help eliminate any dead zones or weak signal strength, you can add up to 3 more additional TWMs to the data bus. Still a total of 144 wireless zones. We offer our ELK 6032. This is our outdoor PIR. It's built upon the Optex outdoor motion detector, which we've taken one of our two-way wireless boards and married it into with the Optex. We have our 6011, our single button panic. We have our 6040, our glass break. We have our 6050, our sound all smoke detector. And like I said earlier, if this detector detects smoke and goes into alarm, it sends a signal to the TWM. The M1 goes into alarm, and then we send the signal to the remaining 6050 so that they are all sounding when they're smoke detected. Now, if the M1 goes into alarm, say it's from a hardwired smoke detector or from a panic button on the keypad, once again, it'll send the signal to all of the 6050s so that they all start sounding. Our 6023 is our recessed window door sensor. We offer that in the white and the brown housing. Our 6010 4-button fob has a status LED in it. We have an inquiry button. That's button 3, the I button we call it. You press the I button. If the LED lights up green, system's disarmed. If it lights up red, system's armed. If it flashes red, it indicates that the system has been in alarm. So once again, it's that peace of mind. If you're leaving and you can't remember, did I arm the system? Press the inquiry button. Lights up solid red. Yes, it's armed. I'm coming home in the evening. I may have an uneasy feeling. Something doesn't feel right. I press the inquiry button. It's flashing red. I know at some point my system has been in alarm. So it's a great indicator for the homeowner to know whether or not to enter the premise at that particular moment. Our 6020 is our slimline window door sensor, and it has a status LED. It's right here in the center of the sensor. When the sensor opens, sends a signal. If that signal is acknowledged, this LED will turn green. If it turns red, it means the signal wasn't acknowledged. So as far as a troubleshooting standpoint, or whether you want to know what type of signal strength you're getting, if you mock up a system, you can walk around with the transmitter, and as you trip it, turns green, hey, I'm within range, it got acknowledged. If it turns red, I'm out of range. I may need to add another TWM to the data bus to help increase the coverage area. During the walk test mode through the keypad, the M1 will speak a level from 1 to 8. That's the total number of data packets received. Anything 5 or higher is considered a good signal strength. Anything less than 4 is kind of marginal, so you may want to consider adding more transceivers to the data bus. But we give you that bicolor LED to let you know that yes, the signal was received. The 6021 is a mini window sensor. This is for mounting on non-metallic surfaces, vinyl or wood. It too has a status LED built into it, along with our 6022, our universal 3-zone. Now this is a true 3-zone sensor. It has the built-in reed switch and the magnet, and then you can hardwire 2 additional sensors to the 6022. Once again, when the sensor is tripped and the signal is acknowledged, our status LED will turn green. Once again, lights up red means we're out of range, or there's a signal strength issue at that point. Our 6030 is our indoor PIR, and that's also available in the 6030P for pet immune. It's up to 40 pounds. Has this nice bright white courtesy LED built into it, which you can control through the rules. And when, say for instance, the sensor is tripped, it lights up. It gives a nice convenient type of a nightlight type feature, or to illuminate the pathway right under the motion detector. When the system goes into alarm, that will start flashing. So it's a visual indicator that the system's in alarm when the LED on the 6030 is flashing. For output expansion, we have the M1XOVR. This is our output board. It's 8 relays and 8 low voltage outputs. This allows the M1 to be expanded into up to 205 total outputs. You know, it's great for garage door controls or gates, sprinklers, pumps, or just LED indicators and so forth. The M1RB allows you to convert the low voltage outputs into physical relays. So when you marry these 2 boards together, we now have 16 physical Form C relays that you can use in the RP rule engine to control a variety of things. These relays are rated for up to 120 volt AC at approximately 8 amps. Let's talk a minute about some access control. The M1 has access control capabilities. We can have up to 16 readers, doors. The readers connect to either the back of the keypad or to our access control module, or M1 KAM. So you can have up to 16 readers or 16 points. Our system will support up to 199 individual users, which can be cards, fobs, or codes. And it connects to the M1. The readers connect, like I said, to the keypads or to our access control module. Now, Connect One, that's our cloud-based service, has some enhanced access control features, which last time I remember is like they can support up to almost 10,000 users, and they have the capability of networking multiple M1s together. There is a monthly charge for the Connect One service, but they also have some features like enhanced email capability. So it's for a larger installation, the Connect One solution is a very good solution to consider. Some commercial solutions would be employee entrance, gate control, or restricting them to certain access to certain areas or partitions. For residential solutions, gate control or to temporary users. Maybe it's construction or cleaning or maintenance or something along those lines. You don't want to give them a code, but you could give them a card. And then through the RP rule engine, we can limit their access to the system based upon time of day, day of the week, and so forth. Now this is our access control module. We call this the M1KAM. It's a single door access control module. This allows your reader, your 26-bit Wiegand reader or the Dallas iButton reader to connect directly to the CAM. This unit basically takes up a keypad location on the data bus. So our system will support 16 keypads, and if the CAM module is part of your installation, it is considered a keypad on the data bus. It has a relay output, which can control your door striker, your magnetic lock. It has a door status and request to exit input, as well as a door held open output, a ready to arm, disarm status output, adjustable times for the door held open, and so forth. Now, our M1 control offers security, flexibility, and convenience for the integrator's need. Secure encrypted communication with an advanced processor. Makes a great foundation for our automation system. Our integration capabilities with a variety of industry-leading partners allows installers to work with products that they're familiar with or have had prior experience with. It also allows you to meet the client's needs based upon their budget. For the most part, unless you're using Connect One or so forth, there's no costly cloud services required. We tried to make the installation and programming as easy as possible to help save time and money. So what are some things that can be integrated with the M1? Well, first of all, security and life safety. That's our top priority. Some access control, lights, fans, thermostats, window covering, garage overhead doors, water heaters. We offer water shutoff, sprinklers, pumps, basically anything electrical. The M1 in one way or another should be able to integrate with these type devices. From a lighting standpoint and thermostat integration, and this is just sampling here. We can integrate with Z-Wave through our XSL ZW and the Leviton Z-Wave interface. This allows the M1 three functions actually. It allows you to control lighting, thermostats, and Z-Wave locks. We have a hardwired thermostat integration through our XSP module for Carrier, Aprilaire, Leviton, and RCS thermostats. We can communicate with Lutron, that includes the Radio Raw, the HomeWorks, and Caseta. Now with Radio Raw 2, it's lights and thermostats and shades. We're able to integrate and control those. And with the HomeWorks and the Caseta, it's thermostats and lights and shades. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. Caseta is only lights and shades, but with the HomeWorks, it is light, shades, and thermostats. UPB lighting through PulseWorks and Simply Automated. Insteon lighting through our XEP, and you can also integrate with universal devices. So this is just a sampling of some of the lighting and thermostat control that the M1 can integrate with. And like I said, this allows you to choose a system that you're familiar with or have had prior experience with. It also allows you to add things modularly, so you're not, if you don't need a complete entire system all at once, you can get the security aspects up and running, and then later on you can add lighting, thermostats, and so forth to meet the client's needs and budget requirements. As we probably know, a lot of insurance claims are based upon water damage. So with the M1 system, you can guard against that water damage, and with the use of our WSV2, our water shutoff valve, when water is detected, you have sensors throughout the home. Those can be hardwired or wireless. You can automatically turn off the water when a sensor detects moisture, or you can turn it off when you arm the system to away mode and so forth. So this makes it easy for the M1 system to control the water shutoff valve through a relay. Our water shutoff valve is a 1-inch stainless steel ball valve. It operates off 12-volt DC. It is easy 4-wire hookup. It also incorporates a manual override lever in the valve. Automating the electric water heater. This is great for energy saving. This allows you to turn the water heater off based upon the time of day, whether or not the system is armed away or while on vacation and so forth. For the electric hot water heater, we offer the ELK 9200. This is a heavy-duty relay contactor. This product will handle up to 220-volt AC at 30 amps. Like I said, it's great for electric water heaters. You can also use it for pumps and motors and so forth. It can be controlled through one of the appliance modules from Insteon, UPB, or Z-Wave, and so forth. Or it can be a standalone product in which it's controlled with 120-volt AC, say from a switched outlet or a toggle switch or something along those lines. So it can be a standalone product. The M1 has temperature sensors that you can add to the system. What we have is our M1 ZTS. This is our zone temperature sensor with the built-in probe. And then we have the ZTSR. This has the 7-foot stainless steel probe. Now this is great for monitoring, say, server rooms, commercial freezers or coolers, wine cellars, maybe an animal habitat, an attic, crawl space, anything that you would like to know what the temperature is. And then it gives you the capability of being able to speak that message through the M1, through output 1 on the board. You can also be configured into the rules, so that gives you an email or a text notification if the temperature happens to go outside of a certain parameter you've configured in your rules. You can monitor from -50 up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Now these connect to the main board, so you can have a total of 16 of these on the M1 system. Now the remote probe, the ZTSR, the probe is weatherproof but not waterproof, so it should not be submerged into a liquid, but it certainly can go into a harsher environment where it's going to get wet and so forth. Now the M1 by itself has 1 amp continuous output, and that's used on your keypad bus, your peripherals, your motions, glass breaks, and so forth. If you need additional power, we offer the ElkRP2 It's our remote power supply. It's a 12-volt, 2-amp power supply. It's great for those larger installations where more power is needed. It has a programmable output, which can be used in the RP rules. It does require its own separate transformer and battery. It can be located at the control, or it can be remotely located. It can also be just a simple standalone 2-amp power supply. It has the master on-off switch, low battery cutoff, a programmable, or it has the relay output for AC fail and one for low battery. So it's a great 2-amp power supply. Now all the peripherals we've talked about, we need to mount those in some way. And so ELK, we've offered structured wiring enclosures and accessories. And here's just a listing of some of the products that we offer. We have our 14-inch enclosure as well as our 28-inch enclosure. Remember, the kits come with the 14-inch enclosure. We have a multi-purpose 3-inch plate, our circuit glides, the grommet donuts, which protect the wires coming in through the knockouts on the top and bottom. We have a multi-purpose 4-inch plate with some pre-drilled holes that we've done so to accommodate some of our other peripherals. And we have our battery shelf, which will accommodate up to an 8-amp-hour battery. In the 14-inch enclosure with the M1, you can see the M1 mounts at the top. If you're using the XEP or the C1M1, they would mount on the right-hand side of the enclosure. For the XEP, you can use the circuit glides. The C1M1 would mount to the can itself. This allows very close proximity to the RS-232 port on board. On the left-hand side, using the circuit glides, we can incorporate an input board or an output board. The battery fits very nicely below the main control. And then if you'd like, you can add the DBH hub using the included 3-inch plate, as we shown here in our diagram. For the 28-inch enclosure, the M1 mounts at the top. You still have room on the left and the right-hand side to mount peripherals. And then the battery shelf fits nicely right under the M1, proximity to the battery leads. Below the battery, we're using our circuit glides to mount boards so that they're perpendicular to the back of the enclosure, or you can use the structured wiring plates we offer and mount them parallel to the back of the enclosure, as you can see here in our picture. So there's several different ways to mount products into our structured wiring enclosures. Now, what are some things that influence our customers? Well, first of all, safety for their family and their employees. That's generally top priority. Protection of assets from intrusion, water leaks, high-low temperatures, and so forth. The desire to always be connected with timely access to information, and making sure that the connectivity and communication with the system is protected against cyber threats and so forth. Being able to coordinate and have total control of our home or business, the convenience at all times of the day, as well as the energy cost savings, the desire to be more productive with their time. So these are some things that we've tried to take into consideration when designing the M1 system and partnering with our partner manufacturers to try to give them an all-in-one system to meet their needs. We feel like our installers are consumers first, so experiencing the M1 firsthand would sure make it easier to sell the product. And I think once you see some of the ease and convenience of programming, as well as the modular aspect of the system, you'll see the installation is fairly simple, and then programming is super easy. Now we'll talk about the main control real quick. Amy, do we have any questions at the moment?
At the moment, we're good. The questions that have come in, I've been able to just answer as we went. So they were more specific to that particular person's situation. So
Okay.
Let's just proceed on.
All right, very good, very good. All right, so let's talk about the M1 Gold system, the hardware overview. What we have is the main control. The zones 1 through 16 are on the left-hand side. These green terminal blocks are Phoenix connectors, so they do pop off if you need to for some reason. If you need to move the main board or replace the main board for some unknown reason, you don't have to disconnect any wiring. Everything, well, with the exception of the battery leads, you could pop these terminal blocks off if necessary. We also have our AC input and auxiliary DC voltage outputs. The M1 has a master on-off switch, which controls both the battery and the transformer, so it's real ease of convenience to power down the system for maintenance or to incorporate new devices. Our battery leads. The serial number for the board is printed on this white barcode sticker, and that's an 8-digit number. It's unique to each M1. There's no 2 serial numbers been duplicated. The telco connection, if you're still using hardwired landlines, is available in the upper right-hand corner. The RS-232 port serves several purposes. It allows the RP software to connect directly, or you can use it with the XEP or the C1M1. There's some of our integration partners who connect directly to the M1 using the RS-232 port. Outputs 7 through 16 are low voltage outputs. Those are rated at 12 volt DC at 50 milliamps each. They're positive switch, so they're fully capable of driving LEDs or other smaller relays. If you don't need a full relay board, just need 1 or 2 relays, you can certainly use that output to drive them. And then we have outputs 1, 2, and 3, and then our RS-485 data bus. For the hardwired zones on the board and the input expander, each zone can be configured with the end-of-line supervised resistor, which is a 2.2K ohm resistor, or they can be configured normally open or normally closed with no resistor required. So the purpose of the resistor is to supervise the wire from the panel out to the device. So for proper supervision of the wire, the resistor should be located at the sensor. If for some reason you're not able to do that, you can simply leave the resistor out, which will make for a little nicer, neater, cleaner installation, then configure the zone as normally open or normally closed. Now, if it's a life safety device, for instance, a smoke detector, obviously it's going to require the resistor, so that'll have to be at the sensor itself. Now, each zone does share a negative with its neighbor. Any zone on the M1 can support a 4-wire smoke detector. So 12-volt DC 4-wire smokes allow you more flexibility. It can be on any zone. It can be on an input expander. The power comes off the main board. The switch power comes off the main board. But it allows you for individual point of ID as far as which detector actually went into alarm. Only Zone 16 will support 2-wire smokes, and those must be listed on page 6 of the M1 installation manual. There's a number of GE and system sensor 2-wire smokes that are compatible. You can daisy chain up to 20 detectors on Zone 16, and it does require a different resistor. It's an 820 ohm resistor. Oh, jumped ahead of myself, so here we go. Like I said, Zone 16 is the only one that can be configured for 2-wire smoke. There's a special jumper right under Zone 16, which allows you to switch from a normal zone to a 2-wire. So in the 2-wire zone, you can have up to 20 detectors daisy chained together. The last terminal block on the left is our switch terminal. That's for your smokes or your glass breaks. Basically anything that latches in that requires a momentary power to be dropped from the sensor in order for it to unlatch. That's on the SOX terminal. We have the VOX terminal for your motions and glass breaks, which are constantly powered, who do not need reset. Our AC terminal input for our AC transformer included in the kit. The master on-off switch, as well as the battery connections. Now, if you are incorporating landline, the M1 standard landline connection, POTS connection here, RJ31X jack is included in the kits. Also included in your kit is the ElkRP2 surge suppressor. We really feel very strongly about surge suppression, so we include this in the kit. A little something different about the M1 system versus other security systems is the M1 system knows when the phone goes off hook. It's constantly monitoring the phone line. So if the phone goes off hook, it knows it. You can use a house telephone as a keypad. You can dial star, 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 or star, 0 star and access the voice prompts built into the M1. So you can use any house phone as a keypad. If the phone's ringing, the M1 will know that. If the phone goes off hook, the M1 knows that. So it is always connected. It's always monitoring. So this, being that it is the very first device that the incoming phone line connects to, obviously it would be the very first device that any incoming surge could possibly affect. So we give you an ElkRP2 surge suppressor, and we've tried to make the 952 as easy to incorporate as possible. So make it plug and play. Unplug one end of your RJ31X, connect the 952, and then to the panel, and then ground it. It needs to be grounded either driven ground rod, metallic cold water pipe, lastly, electrical AC ground, to make sure that it is fully doing the job that it was intended to. So that's our landline connection. Some Alternative paths to landline would be obviously C1M1 or the XEP. There's also some dial capture modules out there that are fully capable of working with the M1 system. The main serial port, like I touched on earlier, allows the RP software to connect directly. It also allows for the C1M1 and the XEP to interface, as well as third-party integrators. And here's a picture of how the C1M1 mounts in the enclosure. You can see it mounts to the side with the antenna sticking out through the top. Now we do offer remote antennas for the C1M1, so you can remote locate the antenna. The C1M1 itself would still be located in the enclosure, and then the antenna could be remotely located. Output 1 on the board does our spoken voice and our interior siren sounds. This is for speakers only. You can have multiple speakers connected as long as the overall load stays between 4 and 16 ohms. Output 2 is a supervised output. It can be a voltage output, in which case if it's a voltage output, it's 12 volt at 1 amp. You can drive self-contained sirens and so forth. Or you can use the M1's built-in siren driver and have regular speakers up to output 2. Same scenario, 4 to 16 ohms if you're doing multiple speakers. If you're not using output 2 at all, then you'd want to make sure you put the 2.2 k ohm resistor across those terminals to prevent that output 2 trouble. Output 3 is a general purpose Form C relay. It's programmed using the RP rules. This is an onboard relay, so it's rated for 12 to 24 volt DC at approximately 4 amps. Outputs 7 through 16 are your low voltage outputs. 12 volt at 50 milliamps positive switched. You can convert 9 through 16 from their low voltage into actual Form C relays by connecting the M1 RB. We talked about the RB earlier. So it would plug directly onto the J16, and now you have physical relays 9 through 16 off the main board. Now our M1 data bus connections is it's a true RS485 data bus, and it follows the RS485 stipulations for wiring and termination of the bus. One of those stipulations is no more than 2 home runs coming off of the control. So you can have 2 home runs in which you can daisy chain devices like we've done in our diagram here. And then in order to properly terminate the data bus, there's some resistors that are built into each device as well as the main board that when you install a jumper will engage a 120 ohm resistor. And the purpose of the resistor, it needs to be on each end of the home run, and it balances the data bus. It helps prevent any erroneous data, data bus reflections, things of that nature, noise and so forth. So when we're daisy chaining devices like we have in our data and our block diagram here, we're going from the control to a keypad, and then we're going out to say an input expander on 1 home run. Our next home run is to a relay board and then to a keypad. Each one of these has the terminating resistor built in, so by installing the little black jumper included in the kit, you engage that resistor. If we were to power down the system and measure the resistance across A and B here on our data bus, we should read between 60 and 70 ohms approximately, because it's 220 ohm resistors in parallel. The data bus cannot exceed more than 4,000 feet. So that's from point A, the M1, to the furthest end, 4,000 feet is total data bus length. If we have just a single home run coming off the control, the JP3 jumper here in the picture at the top engages that 120 ohm resistor. Now, if you don't prefer daisy chaining, some find it okay. Some would prefer a home run back. We understand that. So we give you the M1 DBH. This is for new construction in which you can use a Cat5 or Cat6 wire and go all the way from the hub out to the device. That's a keypad, an input, an output expander, one of the serial port expanders we talked about earlier. Now, you terminate the home run using an RJ45 plug connector. Each home run must be configured as double when we're talking about the overall data bus, because what the DBH hub does for you, it creates the daisy chain effect in the hub. So we have data A and data B going out to the device. We're using a return path back to the next port here on the DBH, and then it just continues that daisy chain for you. When you've installed all your devices, the first unused port of the DBH will get a terminating jumper, RJ45, with the resistor built into it. So now it's terminating across A and B for you here at the hub versus at the device. The DBHR, this is a retrofit. If you have a system where we're maybe replacing an older system with an M1, or they have existing 4-conductor out to the keypad locations, you can use the retrofit hub in those existing 4 conductors. Each branch on the DBHR is basically its own 485 data bus, so it must follow those 485 data bus parameters: no more than 2 home runs, proper termination, and so forth. There is a terminating resistor built onto each branch. The retrofit hub needs to be as close to the control as possible, because this is an active device, whereas the DBH is a passive device. There's specific timing and traffic management going on in DBHR, so we want to keep it as close to the main board as possible. And then you can have 2 home runs coming off of each branch and so forth. All right, what I have here is an example of a wiring diagram going from the DBH out to the keypad using a Cat5 cable. And you can see we have our data A and then our return data A, and then data B and return data B. If I was going out to a device that had screw terminals, it's the same principle. Under the data A terminal, I'd have 2 wires, the solid green, solid orange. Data B, I'd have white green, white orange. Solid brown is positive and white brown is negative. And I bet when you started today's webinar, you didn't think you'd probably have a pop quiz, but I'm gonna give you a little pop quiz here to see if what we've gone over is making sense. So in this example, if we're doing a single home run off of the M1 control out and daisy chaining 2 devices together, where would you install the terminating jumpers in this case? So this is a single home run, in which case we're going to install a jumper at A and C. Like I said, single home run, we've daisy chained. So we engaged the 120 ohm resistor on the control, as well as the last device, which is a keypad. So like I said, if we powered down, measure the resistance across A and B, we'd get between approximately 60 and 70 ohms of resistance there. If I were doing 2 home runs, in which case I'm daisy chaining devices together, where would you install the terminating jumpers in this scenario? It would be C and F. We would terminate the last device on each home run. So in this scenario, the M1's basically in the middle. If we use our hub, our DBH hub, we're using Cat5 wiring out to our devices. And the hub itself does the daisy chaining for you. So in this scenario, if we're using the hub, we would terminate A and G, the main control, and then the first unused port on the hub. Retrofit hub's a little different, but if you think about the 485 data bus and the specific wiring parameters, it's not hard to do. The hub needs to be as close to the control as possible. So we're coming off the control to a retrofit hub. And you can actually have 2 of these in parallel, as close to the control as possible. And then we have different wiring scenarios for each branch off of the retrofit hub. So in this case, the control and the hub itself would be terminated because it's just one hub. If it were two of them, then A would not be terminated. But on this branch 1, it's a single home run, daisy chaining devices. So the last device plus the branch itself. Branch 2 is 2 home runs. So each device would be terminated, but not the branch itself. Once again, branch 3, 2 home runs. Last device on each branch terminated, but not the branch itself. And then finally, we have our 4th branch, which is a single device connected. So the device gets terminated and the branch. And a good troubleshooting tip tech support likes to use if we're having a bus issue for some reason, we like to power down the system and measure the resistance across A and B. If it's 60 to 70, we know we're seeing the correct resistance. Doesn't necessarily mean A and B didn't get reversed, but it will let us know if we're seeing the correct number of jumpers. It also lets us know if maybe perhaps we have a broke wire or a shorted wire. So anything 60 to 70 would be good. If it's 120 to 140, we're missing a jumper. If it's a less than 40, we know we have too many jumpers. So several different scenarios to look at there when wiring for the data bus. Now we have a few minutes left in our presentation. I want to go over the RP software. I think you'll find it fairly simple and intuitive to use. Now, RP software is available for download from our website. Our website does require a username and password, but there's no charge for the software. So please, if you go to ElkProducts.com, click on the support tab, request your username and password to the website so you can download RP as well as any of the installation manuals and so forth. RP provides conflict resolution checking, and that when you connect to the panel, the RP will check what's programmed in the system versus what's programmed in your database, and it'll return the conflicts or the differences so that you can then decide how you want to resolve those. If you did all your programming from RP, then you'd want to send those changes to the panel. But if somebody did keypad programming, you'd want to receive into RP. And you can do that per conflict. So you can look at the different conflicts and then the software will tell you what the difference is between the two. Several different connection methods to use: direct serial or XEP or C1M1. You can even use dial-up with a modem connection to connect to the system. And our powerful rule engine really allows the automation aspect of the system to really pop at that point. So now you're giving some real intelligence, some real life enhancement to a security system. So here's an example of our easy English programming. This is setting up a user. So once you create the user, you type in the user's name, you assign them a code, you check mark the areas that their code is valid in, and then you check what user authorizations that they have, send to control. It is that easy. If we are setting up a zone, for instance, once again, we set the name of the zone, our definition, the type. Now that's either with the resistor, without the resistor, or if it's a 2-wire or 4-wire smoke. We assign the zone to an area. Certain attributes of the zone, like for instance bypassable, enable chime, you may want to check or uncheck. And then here is where you assign the voice description. Each zone can have a 6-word phrase associated with it. So when chime is enabled, and chime is enabled on the keypad, that zone opens, it'll speak this particular voice message. Setting up keypads, real simple. You can name it, assign the area. There's certain options that you can enable or disable for the keypad, like for instance, silent during entry, silent during exit, or if the LEDs need to go off after 60 seconds and no activity. The function keys are set up using the drop-down menus, or you can simply leave them disabled, and that's per keypad, so each keypad can function differently. The rules, which I really like, I think the rules really sets the M1 apart from most all security systems on the market, is the capability of the rules to give the system real enhancement capabilities for lighting, thermostat, life enhancements, letting you know when it arms and disarms and sending you text notifications. So what is a rule? A rule in the ELK definition is a whenever and a then. So you have to have a trigger, and then the then is what's going to happen. We also have conditional and statements. Now you can use ands or you don't have to use them. They're, like I said, they're optional. So what are some whenever trigger events? If you'll see in our block here, we have time occurrence, zones changing, outputs changing, the F keys being pressed, even the wireless key fobs being pressed, a button on one of those. A light changes states, automation tasks, the security aspect's a huge one. You can know when it arms and disarms, when it's bypassed, things of that nature. Miscellaneous system events such as AC fail, low battery. We can also send and receive custom text messages through the M1 system. We have 64 counters built into the M1 that we can count from 0 up to 65,535. And we have whenevers based upon the thermostat changing state. So we have our trigger, our whenever. Let's say, for instance, the door opens or a switch is pressed. We could have it based upon the time, the hour changing, the minute changing. Let's say whenever the front door becomes not secure, okay? Our then is our command. What do we want to happen? This is turn on a light, activate a relay, send a text message. You can have multiple then statements within one rule. You can only have one whenever, but you can have multiple then statements, and it'll execute each then statement as it goes down. So whenever front door becomes not secure, then turn the front porch lights on. Pretty simple. Let's say we need to condition that with an and statement. Now these are optional, and they must be true before it'll drop down to the next and statement. You can have multiple and statements within a rule. So in this scenario, we have whenever the front door becomes not secure and it's dark outside, then turn the light on. Well, what determines dark outside? The M1's astronomical clock. You can also set up the latitude, longitude, and time zone that you're in, and RP will automatically calculate within a couple minutes when anticipated sunrise and sunset. So whenever it's dark outside, that's after sunset and before sunrise. So anytime that the door becomes not secure, it's going to automatically turn that front porch light on for you. Now this was we do have some other webinars on our website. We have some advanced RP rule writing. So once you get your username and password, if you want to navigate over to those, you can certainly take a look at those at your convenience. At this time, Amy, we have questions?
Since we were pushing time and you had a little bit more to go over, I've answered all of those to the person that's asked them through the chat, so I think we're good at this point. Do appreciate those questions coming in, and if you have other questions, now's the time to get them in. If you want them answered now, of course we are available to answer questions at other times. If you think of one later, you certainly can get a hold of us, and Brad will give you that information here on the next slide of how you can get in touch with us.
All right, so we certainly do appreciate your time and attendance today. If you need to contact us, we're available at techsupport@elkproducts.com. You can reach us Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time, from 8 to 6:45 Eastern Time for over-the-phone technical support. Do apologize for that. Let's see. Well, Aim, I'm going to let you take it over now. My slideshow is There we go.
Okay. Had a few little technical difficulties there, but we do appreciate you attending. Again, if you need to get in touch with us, elkproducts.com has all of our contact information, as well as a lot of great information that you may find helpful. You might can find the answer to your question right there on our website. We have training videos. You look over to our YouTube channel and get a lot more information there. There is an on-site support forum on our website. So you can go there and go to the M1 support forum, and you can search what's there. You may find answers to your questions there, or you can start a new thread. And there's a lot of people monitoring that. Our tech support staff, as well as other installers and other people who are using M1, and so you get a lot of expertise and a lot of different perspectives there. So it's a good resource. Again, we appreciate your time, and I hope everyone has a great afternoon.